So I was working with one of my Patreon clients this morning on basically just her skin routine on what she's going to be taking, what she's going to be using. And we were talking a little bit about hydroquinone because she's on her hydroquinone journey just as I'm getting back on hydroquinone. And I just want to say that for those of you who are using it, I feel like most people know this, but just to reiterate, hydroquinone isn't something that you can use year round. You do have to cycle it, and there's some people who cycle it as quickly as 3 weeks. So they'll be on it for 3 weeks, they'll take a 3 week break, then they'll get back on it for 3 weeks, and they'll just continue that. And there's some people who will do 2 to 3 months on and then 2 to 3 months off. But basically, you do have to cycle it. You cannot just be on it year round, but there are other skin lightening, I guess, mixtures, lotions that you can use 24/7 every day, basically. I do have a lot of DIY things on Patreon if you just want to make your own. Or you can just buy one that you trust. As long as it doesn't have hydroquinone in it, you can use it anytime and all the time. I also have noticed because there's just so many things that can screw up your journey, and that is one of them. Not knowing when to cycle off hydroquinone, that's a big one. If you guys have been following me for a while, I was on hydroquinone a couple years ago actually, so it's been a minute, and I was already nervous about getting on it, and then I completely scared myself off of it because I was basically stuck on this little rowboat in the middle of the sun for maybe about 30 minutes, and my skin got so dark, so dark. So yeah, if you are in the sun, it can cause you to get even darker than you normally would if you weren't on it, if you never used it at all. So just know that it was just some type of, I don't know, I guess chemical reaction, but basically it scared me off of it. I was like, if I cannot completely control my surroundings, then I should not be on this. So knowing what I know now, you need to be very strict with yourself about where you're at. Do not put yourself in situations, usually these are social situations, where you're going to be getting a lot of sun. Sometimes that means saying no to certain things. I feel like people who are on their skin journey, they think it's gonna be super easy. And yeah, once you get in your routine and you know what to take, how much to take, when to take it, yeah, that's just going to be another part of your day. Just like brushing your teeth or doing your skincare routine to take off all of your makeup. It just becomes a part of the routine and it's easy. But the hard part is the psychological part that you really have to watch out for. That's knowing that there's going to be some, social activities that you're going to have to say no to. There's some that maybe I don't get there on time because I'm looking at the UV index for that day, and I live in freaking Florida, which is hot as hell right now, and I have to make sure that I get there when there's enough cloud coverage. There's so many other factors that kind of control when I can do certain things. Now, if you feel like this is getting in the way of you living your life and you maybe are a little depressed, it's not working for you, then you may be going on your skincare journey maybe in the fall or in the winter. Maybe that would be better for you. And then you can figure out what to do once it gets to the summer, because I know some people, it's just too much. But for those of you who are okay knowing that there's just certain things that you're really going to have to work around in order to get the most out of not only your money but your effort, then just know that it's not necessarily easy. There's so many moving parts. Another thing, I was working with another client, one of my VIP clients, and we're going on just how much he's taking. And it's not just him, but I'm getting a lot of people who are starting out around 2,000 milligrams of glutathione. And so in their defense, most of the pills that they're taking are only 500 milligrams per pill. So yeah, they're taking 2,000, but they're taking a handful of pills every day. So to them, they're like, oh, I feel like I'm taking enough. It's not enough, especially when you're starting out. Usually people only start that low when their body's getting used to glutathione, because there is a detox that you're going to go through for the first 1 to 2 weeks. So you start low and then you build up to whatever dosage that you can afford. Some people can afford 5,000. Some people can afford 10 to 12,000 a day. It all depends. But yeah, I'm just like working with a lot of people who just aren't taking enough. So really, it's like you just have to know how many bottles, especially if you're on the pill, if you're going the pill route, you know how many bottles you need to be taking, but also how many pills per bottle, so you know when you're about to run out, you know how long shipping is going to take. Is this a company who sometimes they sell out? Like there's companies who sometimes they're low on inventory. Like you need to take all this into account, but for a lot of people, they're just not taking enough, and that is a problem. Another problem is sometimes people just aren't patient enough. They're just not patient in understanding that it's going to take your body and your blood a while to start basically getting to the point where you have enough glutathione reserves in your cells, because it's going to get into every cell of your body, but to where you have enough glutathione in your cells to where the excess is where the skin lightening starts happening. So for every person, this is different. So if I have two people, and this is something that we have to talk about, especially if you're one of my VIP clients, if you are a person who's, let's say, 135 pounds versus someone who is maybe 170, 180, you guys, even though you're taking 5,000 milligrams each, which that is a skin lightening dose, for one person, you're going to get there a little faster than the other, because per pound, glutathione does matter. Also, another thing that matters is how much glutathione is your body using. We use glutathione every day. Obviously, we don't know when our body's using it, but everyone is using glutathione at a different rate than other people. So, for example, you're, again, taking the same amount as everyone else to get skin lightening. You're seeing they're starting to get results at 3 months, and you're at 3 months and you're starting to get discouraged because you're not seeing, a big change. So at this point, you're like, is it the brand I'm using? What could it be? What am I doing wrong? And honestly, if you are not hitting some of the other trace minerals and antioxidants that you need, which thankfully to take these supplements and vitamins, they're not expensive and you don't have to megadose them. So you can buy one bottle and you'll be good for like 2 or 3 months. But if you're not taking the proper vitamins and trace minerals that you need, your body is not able to not only reuse the glutathione that you have in your cells, because our body does work to produce our own glutathione and to reuse and have building blocks to make more, but also you could just be going through yours at a faster rate than other people, meaning that even though you've been taking glutathione for 3 to 5 months, you're not getting the results you need because you're using almost as much as you're taking, and you haven't gotten to that thresh point of glutathione stores. To get to glutathione stores, for everyone, it's going to take a couple months, but also for others, once you're going over that threshold, that's when you start to see your results. So for a lot of people, especially like my impatient clients who are like, they have a wedding to go to, or they're just trying to get like back out on the dating scene, so they're just like revamping their entire body. Like they're there to lose weight, they want to know the quickest way to lose weight, which thankfully I have a lot of experience with that. It's actually my day job of helping people lose weight, and it has been for many years. But it's like, to do that, like when they want their skin lightening results, quickly, and quickly to me is anything under 6 months. So when they want it in under half a year, it's like for a lot of you guys, you're going to have to really look into a topical to help you kind of speed this up and get there in the amount of time that it's going to take for glutathione to actually start working for you. Because at least 3 of those months, you're going to really feel like you're not making any progress. It's not guaranteed that you're going to start to have a before and after at that 3-month mark. Now, for some people, I was lucky by all of the research that I did that going back in my pictures, I have a before and after, and you can tell the difference. But that doesn't mean that everyone's going to hit that, depending on, again, those factors of how much are you using? Is your body able to recycle the glutathione? Is your body able to make more glutathione? And there's another thing. I know, guys, we just keep on going. There's another thing people need to know is that if you have been on a glutathione journey before, and let's say you fell off, which I have done countless times, for sometimes it's been things outside of my control, like natural disasters and being uprooted from my home and out of the state. But for those of you who have been on the glutathione journey, you've been supplementing day by day, mega dosing, month by month, and then you stop for whatever reason and you get back into it. Maybe it's a couple months later, maybe it's a couple years later. You have to know that during that time, and I hate to say this, but your body is not producing its own glutathione as easily as it was before. So this also is going to make it a little more difficult than it did the first time. And this happens when you're supplementing a lot of different things. Even for people who are in hormone replacement therapy and you start supplementing certain hormones, your body slows down on making your own. And then some people will stop even completely, meaning that you now rely on supplementation over everything. So I do want to say that first time when you're just starting glutathione, and I'm not saying that this works for the people who've only been on it for a couple weeks and then they stop. Like, this only goes for the people who are on it for months and were very consistent. Just know that your body does naturally slow down on producing your own. Now, that does not mean that your recycling methods and being able to build, if you're giving it the right precursors, that slows down. But making your own, that 100% does. So when this happens, you really just have to be mindful that your results might not come as quickly as it did the first time you were on this journey. And again, don't let it discourage you. Like, this happens, don't let it discourage you. And there are different ways around that as well. There are some people who need to just take glutathione. There's some people who need to take glutathione and precursors. But I'm gonna stop this video here before it gets like too long. But yeah, check out the Patreon. There's tons and tons and tons of just good information on there. Check out the Patreon chat. In the chat is where anyone basically can post pictures before and afters, post links to other people's social media who are using different products if you want to see their before and afters, ask questions, and just like talk in the community. So take full advantage of that. I get inspiration from chat all the time. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful.